All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to break down what has been an absolutely wild ride in the global semiconductor industry. The year 2025 was packed with intense competition, some serious geopolitical drama, and just incredible leaps in technology. All of it is setting the stage for what's coming in 2026.
And we have to start with this quote, because wow, talk about throwing down the gauntlet. This comes from the legendary founder of TSMC, Morris Chang. It just perfectly captures one of the biggest stories of the year, Intel's all-or-nothing attempt to get back in the game and challenge the very company that has dominated chip manufacturing for a generation.
So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at the new chip Cold War, the politics of it all. Then, we'll dive into the battle for the Angstrom era, which is the logic and memory chip wars. After that, the incredible tech that makes this all possible. And finally, we'll look ahead to 2026.
Okay, first up, you really cannot talk about anything that happened in semiconductors this year without starting right here. Every single decision, every investment, every big idea happened under the shadow of this massive, escalating tech rivalry between the US and China.
And man, the year was just relentless. It was one thing after another, a real tit for tat. As you can see from this timeline, we saw these direct, aggressive moves from both governments. This is so much more than just corporate competition now. We're talking about national security, about economic dominance. And the result? A super high-stakes, unpredictable environment where the world's supply chains are literally being redrawn as we speak.
And this was China's response. 344 billion won. That's over 47 billion US dollars. This is their state-run big fund, and it's a massive pile of cash aimed at one thing, self-sufficiency. The goal here is to build an entire chip industry from the ground up, materials, equipment, everything, so that it's completely immune to foreign sanctions. It's like they're trying to build a technological fortress.
So, with that political backdrop, let's get into the technology itself. This is where the real magic happens. We're talking about the race to build the literal brains for everything, from the phone in your pocket to the massive data centers running AI. Welcome to the battle for the Angstrom era.
So the crucial technology everyone is trying to master right now is the shift from FinFET to something called Gate-All-Around, or GAA. Think of it like this. FinFET was like gripping a pencil with 3 fingers, but GAA is like wrapping your whole hand around it. You get way better control over the flow of electricity. Nailing this tech is the key to winning the next round, and it's what will eventually open the door to even crazier stuff like stacked CFET transistors down the road.
And this table just lays it all out, doesn't it? I mean, just look at that market share for TSMC. Absolutely dominant. And where's Intel at the start of the year? Not even in the top 10. That is what makes their comeback with the 18A process so incredible. Meanwhile, you've got Samsung, who was the longtime number 2, kind of stuck in the middle and really struggling with some major headwinds. So let's look at how the two leaders are doing this, because they're taking completely different approaches. Intel is going all in, making this huge bet on a new technology called PowerVia. It's basically about rewiring the chip from the back to deliver power more efficiently. It's a massive, risky bet on performance. And TSMC? They're playing it a little more conservatively, focusing on cramming more transistors into their first version. They're saving their own backside power technology for their next chip. It's this classic battle, revolution versus evolution. And Intel's story this year? Wow, it has been a total roller coaster. On one hand, they are hitting these incredible technical home runs, like 18A, and they landed Microsoft as a customer, which is huge. But at the same time, the company is going through this gut-wrenching reorganization, painful layoffs, staggering financial losses, and here's the ultimate irony. They are still paying their biggest competitor, TSMC, to make some of their own most advanced chips. You just can't make this stuff up. Okay, so processors are the brains, right? But brains are useless without memory. And the AI boom in 2025 created this absolutely bottomless appetite for data. This battle isn't just about packaging chips, it's also being fought deep inside the silicon with this relentless drive for new architectures like 3D DRAM. It's all about feeding the AI beast.
So why is AI so different? What's the big deal? Well, training these giant AI models is like trying to have a processor read every book in a library all at the same time at insane speeds. Your standard computer memory is just too slow. It's like trying to get all that information through a single mail slot. It doesn't work. AI needs a superhighway.
And that superhighway is called high bandwidth memory, or HBM. It's a total game changer. The genius of it is that instead of laying memory chips out flat side by side, you stack them vertically like a skyscraper. This creates this massive, wide-open data pipeline directly into the processor. Honestly, without HBM, the entire generative AI revolution that we saw this year just
stops. It's that critical.
And this created an absolute gold rush. For most of 2025, SK Hynix was the undisputed king of the hill. They bet big on HBM early, and it paid off. They were completely sold out. In fact, they were so far ahead, their technology was reportedly ready before NVIDIA even asked for it. But, that kind of success attracts a crowd. Now you've got Samsung jumping in aggressively trying to close that gap, and Micron is dropping a cool $7 billion just to get a piece of the action. The race is on.
So, we've talked about the chip designers and the manufacturers, but none of this happens in a vacuum. None of the logic, none of the memory. It all depends on this arsenal of mind-bogglingly complex equipment. So, let's pull back the curtain and look at the tech that actually makes the tech.
How do you print circuits that are just a few atoms wide? I mean, really think about that for a second. Well, you need what is, without a doubt, one of the most complex and expensive machines humanity has ever built. The Extreme Ultraviolet Lithography Machine, or EUV for short.
And just when you thought that was crazy, here comes the next generation, High-NA EUV. It is a technological marvel that can print with even more precision. But the price tag is staggering, over $400 million for one machine. And it's not just the cost of the machine. You need a whole new ecosystem of materials, masks, and measurement tools just to make it work. It is such a huge gamble that even Intel, who's first in line to get one, is developing a backup plan. That tells you everything you need to know about the risk.
And here's where it gets really meta. The industry is now using AI to get better at making the very chips that power AI. How cool is that? These chip factories or fabs are just swimming in data. AI algorithms sift through all of it to spot tiny problems and predict failures before they can ruin an entire batch of expensive chips. For a company like Intel trying to launch a brand new process or a Samsung trying to fix yield problems, this isn't just helpful, it's absolutely essential.
Okay, so that was 2025, a truly whirlwind year. Where does all this leave us as we head into 2026?
If you take just one thing away from 2025, let it be this. Intel is back. Their 18A process became a real, legitimate competitor to TSMC at the highest level. For the first time in almost a decade, we have a true two-horse race in advanced chip making. And a huge part of that race is happening on American soil. This fundamentally changes the dynamics of the entire industry.
So the battle lines are now clearly drawn. And in 2026, the gloves are coming off. We're going to see Intel's 18A and TSMC's N2 go head-to-head in the actual products that we can all go out and buy. And this is all happening while that geopolitical chess match gets more intense and the crazy demand for AI memory continues to reshape that whole market. You see, 2025 set the stage. The fight for the future of computing is really just beginning.